Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another What's the Scoop. I have the final one for EX7 that I will be doing. Funny enough, EX7 has already been out since the last weekend, but I wanted to do one more because I felt that this strategy has a lot of cards and it will be dealt with, obviously. So before I get into the Three Musketeers, remember to accelerate the sub count. Remember to add yourself to the ad army if you're not. Also, remember to check us out on Instagram, but also check us out on Rumble if you feel like you want to check out my other content, and it does help out. And as always, you know how this works. You get a first look, and so do I. Interestingly enough, since this technical deck is already out and strategy is out, you can technically look at it, and this is usually the case where I do it before this set comes out, but I think this is appropriate considering how many cards there are for this strategy, that you want to take your time and listen and maybe just sit back and think, oh, well, that's what this does. As the Three Musketeer deck has really been revamped thanks to EX7 and Digimon Liberators, we actually have a massive pool of cards here, ranging from red, purple, and black as the main focus, with brand new lines to support both strategies, as well as crossing colors with the normal or specific text introduction, so cards work together that way. And we have technically Bellstarmon support indirectly to support either the Three Musketeers or the Impmon based strategies. So we have a lot to cover, so I'm just going to jump straight into it. We actually have a brand new egg that unifies the strategies finally, and we have a new Kapurimon here, which is actually a black egg, but focuses on this. So your turn once per turn. When effects place option cards with the Three Musketeer trait in this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards, you get to gain 1 memory. Moving into the first of the new rookies, we have a new toy Agumon. This one is red, and it digivolves on top of any level 2 with 3 Musketeer traits for a cost of 0. Then on play, we reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. First, you get to add 1 card with the 3 Musketeers in its text and 1 option card with a use cost of 6 among them to the hand. You then return the rest to the bottom of your deck, and for its inheritable during your turn, this Digimon will gain 2000 DP. Moving into the counterpart, we have another toy Agumon, which happens to be in black, and this one, just as much as the red one, can digivolve on top of any level 2 with the 3 Musketeers in its text for a cost of 0. And then on play, by trashing 1 card with the 3 Musketeer trait in your hand, you get to draw 2 cards, and then for its inheritable, you gain Reboot. So very good. The final rookie released here in the set is a brand new purple Digimon. This is Sparrowmon, and we've already seen it before, but this will be focusing on supporting the 3 Musketeers, where it can as well digivolve on top of any level 2 with 3 Musketeers in its text with a cost of 0. And at the start of your main phase, by placing 1 option card with the 3 Musketeers trait from your hand or trash as one of your Digimon's bottom Digi-Evolution card, you get to draw 1 card. And with its inheritable, Retaliation is now added to this strategy, so very good as a generic Digimon as well. Moving into the brand new champions, or at least for EX6, we have or EX7, sorry, we have a brand new Deputymon here. So Deputymon is now joining the 3 Musketeers officially in a different way. So obviously it can digivolve on top of any of the 3 Musketeer Digimon in its text that are level 3 with a cost of 2 for a cost of 2. Then when digivolving and when attacking once per turn, you may trash any 1 option card from 1 Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards. This is important for later on. And then your turn, this Digimon gains the 3 Musketeer trait. So for its inheritable, your turn, this Digimon gets 2000 DP. This card's very interesting, and I'll explain it later. Moving into the other new champion, we have a black Tankmon here, which can digivolve on top of any of the level 3 with 3 Musketeers in its text for a cost of 2. And then on player, when digivolving, by returning 3 cards with the 3 Musketeer trait from your hand or trash to the top of your deck, you get to digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, and it also carries Reboot for its inheritable. Moving into the level 5s, these are interesting as we have a brand new Megadramon here, which can digivolve on top of any level 4 with the 3 Musketeers in its text for a cost of 3. And then on player, when digivolving, by placing 1 option card with the 3 Musketeers trait from your hand or trash as this Digimon's bottom Digi-Evolution card, you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less. Additionally, this Digimon carries Piercing for its inheritable. Moving into the counterpart, the black DIGIMON here, which is able to do the same thing as Megadron, Digivolve on top of any level 4 with 3 Musketeers in its text for a cost of 3. Then on play, and when Digivolving, you get to reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Place one option card with the 3 Musketeer trait among them as this Digimon's bottom Digi-Evolution cards, then return the rest to the top or bottom of the deck. If this Digimon effect placed, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers with a play cost of 3 or less. And this also carries collision. So obviously collision is not necessarily a new keyword, but it's a newer keyword. But basically it allows your Digimon to force your opponent's Digimon to carry blockers, so they have to block with one of their Digimon. So very, very cool. So pretty unique as an inheritable here, so it carries it to the line. I'll talk about it later as we move into the brand new level 6s for this line, starting with the brand new Magna Kidmon here, which can Digivolve on top of any level 5 with 3 Musketeers in its text for a cost of 4. And then on player, when Digivolving, you may use 1 3 Musketeer trait option card from your hand without paying the cost. Then you get to draw cards from the top of your deck until you have 6 in your hand. At the end of your turn, once per turn, by trashing 1 option card from this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards, one of your 3 Musketeer trait Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn, and it gets to attack. Moving into the brand new Gundramon here, this one, very much like its counterpart, can Digivolve on top of any level 5 with 3 Musketeers in its text for a cost of 4. It carries blocker, and then on play and or when Digivolving, you get to reveal the top 6 cards of your deck. You may use 1 3 Musketeer trade option card among them without paying the cost, and then you return the rest to the top or bottom of the deck. All turns, when any of your 3 Musketeer trait Digimon would leave the battle area other than by your effects, by trashing 1 option card from this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards, they do not leave. Moving into the third 3 Musketeer, we have a brand new Bellstarmon, this being Bellstarmon Ace. As Bellstarmon Ace, it can, very much like its counterparts, Digivolve on top of any level 5 with 3 Musketeers in its text, but for a cost of 3, and it carries the Blast Evolution mechanic. Being able to, on play or when Digivolving, return 1 option card from your trash to the hand, then you may use 1 3 Musketeer trait option card from your hand without paying the cost. Then, when attacking once per turn, by trashing 1 option card from this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards, you may use 1 3 Musketeer trait option card from your hand without paying the cost, and it carries an overflow cost of -4. And we cover the brand new evolution for it in the brand new Bellstarmon X antibody. So it can Digivolve on top of any level 6 with the 3 Musketeers trait with X antibody trait for a cost of 1. When Digivolving, you may use 1 option card with the 3 Musketeers in its text from your hand without paying the cost. Then when Digivolving and when attacking, by trashing 2 cards with the 3 Musketeer trait from this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards, you have to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level and trash the top of their security. Moving into the brand new options, we have the first being Chaos Triangular, which is a red option here, which when effects trash this card from Digi-Evolution cards, one of your Digimon gets 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. Then while you have the 3 Musketeer trait Digimon, you may ignore this card's color requirements. All the options carry that, so I will ignore reading that. Main, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 9000 DP or less. For each of your 3 Musketeer trait Digimon with different names, add 3000 to this DP's deletion effects maximum. Then place this card as the bottom Digi-Evolution card of one of your opponent or one of your 3 Musketeer trait Digimon. For its security effect, you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 12,000 DP or less. Moving into the brand new black option for 3 Musketeers, we have Derblitz here. So when an effect trashes this card from your Digi-Evolution cards, Digivolve 1 of your opponent's Digimon, and then main, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. Then place this card as the bottom Digi-Evolution card of one of your 3 Musketeer trait Digimon, and for its security, you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. And then finally, we are looking at the last one. This is the new Hurricane Screwshot. So when an effect trashes this card from Digi-Evolution cards, you get to gain 1 memory. And then for its main effect, delete one of your opponent's level 3, one of their level 4, and one of their level 5 Digimon. Then you place this card as the bottom Digi-Evolution card of one of your 3 Musketeer trait Digimon. Finally, for a security effect, you get to do the delete one of your opponent's level 3, one of their level 4, and one of their level 5 Digimon. So very much devastation. And that's all the cards for Three Musketeers. So let's talk about the support really quick of what makes them so interesting. I like the fact that they finally unified this strategy. For the most part, a lot of the Three Musketeer Digimon could be played in their own deck, but they really didn't see much play. Prior Three Musketeer decks were basically just Bellstarmon Purple Turbo, so that you get into Bellstarmon and then she just kind of goes off. Unfortunately for both Magna-Kidmon and Gundramon, they were good, but they were very, very underwhelming in my opinion. So in order to fix that, they definitely meshed them very well into the brand new strategy. The brand new Koporimon, I think, is absolutely fantastic to get the strategy off the ground. All the toy Agumons, I love them being added to this Digi-Evolution line, because the Three Musketeers really never had defined evolution lines yet. And I mean by yet, I mean they just never really were fleshed out. This fleshes them out. It's really cool to give them something that's different. Especially Magna-Kidmon's line, finally explaining how it has Dragonkin in its typing and its traits, but it makes a lot of sense by becoming from a Megadramon. So that's really cool. I love the use of Tankmon, because I think Tankmon doesn't get enough usage, and I think that's unique to use Gigadramon as the link as well, because both Magna-Kidmon and Gundramon are technically dragons to some extent, so that's cool. Sparrowmon obviously being dropped in here as an additional little tidbit to add to the line. I do kind of like the fact they didn't add more support for or indirect support for this deck, because we did see the Lilithmon line for EX7, so technically you could add that line into this deck to make it a full deck from the set. I think it's the only deck you can technically build out of the box, minus the fact that X Antibody doesn't have the X Antibody options to use for its reduced evolution cost, but you can build this deck pretty much with everything just from EX7, so that's just really, really cool. Focusing more back on the line, the main thing here is that by making the strategy the way it is, it's very different, because you are hard playing a lot, you are using these options, and you're using these new trait mechanics very well. I like the fact that now the deck can be linear, but it can also be unlinear if it wants to be. Like, you can hard slam some of your other Digimon to proc their on plays and use that in a different way. Bellstarmon Ace, I think, is absolutely fantastic, because it fixes one of the issues, I think, with modern Digimon, where now you can use a very quick option with this reduced play cost of the Ace Digimon, but you get punished really badly if Bellstarmon Ace leaves the field. But because of Bellstarmon Ace's effect, it's worth playing the risk, because of how strong its effect is. X Antibody is also a good introduction to powering up the strategy. I do think that it's very good. I do think with a little bit more support, maybe this deck can also kind of maybe change the way it wants to tech out its cards. So more of specific color support, maybe more red, maybe more black, maybe more purple, just so you can vary up the way you want to play it. All three of the options are, in my opinion, I wouldn't say they're great, but they're definitely good. I think that when you look at all of them, I think the ones that are probably the worst is maybe, and I'm saying this maybe, is maybe Chaos Triangular, just because its trashing effect isn't that good. When it's trash, it's not that powerful. Durblitz and Hurricane Screwshot are definitely fantastic. I think, funny enough, Hurricane Screwshot has the worst main effect, because you're never going to be able to guarantee if your opponent has a level 3, a 4, and 5, but it has the best trash effect by gaining a memory. It's just really good, so it's hard to not want to have it. And ultimately, I think that's what makes this strategy very unique. I do love rereading Bellstarmon X Antibody. I think this is great, because this telegraphs to me that more Three Musketeer support will be coming at some point. So it's only a matter of time before this card actually becomes even more broken. So, I would say bear with it. And from the option cards, like I said before, I love the fact that they feel more dual purpose. It doesn't really feel that you're trying to abuse the level 7 or the play cost 7 of the options anymore with the old Bellstarmon. Although I do kind of miss that, because I think making them play cost 7 would have been cool, but I get why they didn't. If they did, then pretty much you might just be playing Turbo Purple again to mill your deck out. trying to get those cards into rotation like they did before. So I do get that. Ultimately, I think the support is stellar. I think of the decks that people might want to play, I think this is a deck that if you're a beginner, this deck isn't necessarily your favorite because there's a lot of moving pieces in it. I do think, though, this is a deck that you play after you've kind of got accustomed to playing the game and you want to give yourself maybe a challenge or a deck that you really want to like tech around with. This is where I think Three Musketeers really does shine, because it's a deck that you get to mess around with, find different ways to maneuver and play to your strengths. But I do think it's a deck that you don't necessarily want to play offhand if you're a beginner. Definitely give it a shot if you want to try it as a beginner, but I do think this is a deck that you might want to try more of when you're more experienced. But ultimately, finally, you could check out, people are making videos about it. I could probably point to like 4 or 5 different ones, but ultimately I think for this strategy, you will enjoy it, you will try it, you'll see what works, what doesn't work, and then you'll kind of like change it up to how you want to play it. But ultimately, that's what I've got for you guys today. This has been the final What's the Scoop for EX7, because the rest of the strategies in here are more of just additional line support, where I did want to focus more on strategies for EX7. This one is a whole heap of its own strategy, so obviously enjoy it. And as always, this has been Brad from the Ad Army signing off. And for all of you out there, to sign on.